Hello, Miss Adair here with your weekly counselor lesson. As you can tell, this week's lesson is about conflict resolution, and that's just a fancy way of saying you have a disagreement and you have to figure out how to solve your problem.
Wow, it seems like a lot of those teachers had a lot of conflict going on. So hopefully through this they can get some tips and tricks to figure out how to solve their problems. So conflict is hard. It is not fun. I, for one, don't really enjoy conflict. I feel uncomfortable. I can handle it, but it's definitely not my favorite. So there's some people, though, that enjoy conflict and they like to argue their certain points. And for that, I just say join a debate team. So I bet all the time you're spending at home, you are just starting to get on each other's nerves.
Getting on each other's nerves.
Anyway, moving on. Stop saying that.
Stop saying that.
I'm telling. Stop breathing on me.
Get out of my room. It's my turn on the iPad.
Mom, they're breathing on me.
I'm not touching you, 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 I'm not touching you.
So on that note, let's talk about the size of the problem. All those examples that you saw were examples of small problems. Are they irritating? Yeah. Are they annoying? Most definitely. But they're probably problems that you can solve. And if they've ever happened to you, you know how annoying they can be. And if you're the person that's doing that, I get it. I was that person. I like to irritate people. It's kind of fun for me. But I also know when somebody asks me to stop, my job is to stop. I need to respect people's boundaries. So some other examples of small problems could be losing at a game, not taking turns, not sharing, there's a mess you have to clean up and it wasn't your mess, or maybe somebody just barged into your room without knocking. Medium problems are those problems that you need to use at least one strategy by yourself first, and then if you need help, you can ask for help. So those medium-sized problems could be maybe somebody said something mean to you, maybe you need help calming down, maybe a sibling took something from you without asking, or maybe you're feeling hungry or tired. So in any of those, you might be able to solve those by yourself, but you might also need to ask a grown-up for some help. Now, the big problems. Big problems are always problems where you need to talk to an adult. Those situations are ones where it's not safe. Maybe there's hitting, kicking, punching, breaking things. You're hurt. It's a dangerous situation. So if it's not safe, your job is always to ask an adult. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but my siblings and I, we wrestle, we fight, we do that kind of stuff. Well, I was allowed to do that too, but our family rule was as soon as the other person says stop, your job was to stop. And that helped us keep a lot of hurt feelings away because we were able to respect other people's boundaries. So it's really important to normalize that conflict is going to happen. But it's also important to start figuring out what your plan is when you have a disagreement with someone. It's really, really smart to use a calming strategy immediately. So if you go into your disagreement with anger, you're going to face it with anger. You might say or do something that you regret. It's okay to use your calming corner or safe spot during this time. Let the adult know, or the other person that you're having a disagreement know, that you need to calm down first, and then you can solve the problem later. It is definitely okay to take a breath and calm yourself before you face your conflict. So, now, how are we going to solve conflicts? One skill I'm going to teach you guys today is about the time machine. The time machine will take you back in time and give you a chance to redo the situation. So it's going to teach assertiveness skills, so using your words, and how to address people in a kind way. That way you can solve your problem. So, let's take a look.
All right, I'm going to walk you through how to use the conflict resolution time machine. The time machine is the yellow image that you see on the right side of the screen. Now, at school, I have a big map that the students can actually stand on to get the visual of learning these skills. If you don't have one, which I doubt you do, you could always make your own or just use these steps. So, step one is always, are you willing? I never force the kids to use this time machine if they are still emotionally charged or if they're not ready, because then it's not going to lead to true resolution. So, maybe they need more time to cool off and process and talk through what it's going to look like whenever they're facing their conflict. And once they're calm, we're ready to go. Step two is do star breathing or any of the breathing strategies. All the kiddos at Sunset Ridge should know the breathing strategies, so they could be able to teach you some. Facing conflict is hard to do. So if you take a deep breath, it's just going to help you kind of clear your mind and have you be ready to face that uncomfortable conversation. Step three is wishing each other well. The student is going to think about all the good things that they want for the other person. You can have them say it aloud or keep it to themselves. It's important because it helps us get past thinking about how you were wronged and what you want from the interaction. It helps us care about each other and care about the relationship. Step four is focus on the goal and unity. So you say out loud, let's do it. So that gives both parties and the feeling of they're both there to help solve the problem. Step five is the students take their final step towards each other, and then on the mat in front of them, it gives them the language to use. So it says on one side, I don't like it when you blank, please blank. So it could be something like, I don't like it when you take my toys without asking. Next time, just ask. And the other person says, okay, I can do that. You can also change the language a little and it say something like, I don't like it when you call me mean names. Next time, use my name. And then the other person says, okay, I can do that. These words take the students back to the time when they had the conflict so they can solve the problem in a more respectful way. And it teaches how to be assertive when conflict happens. Because a lot of the times, kids just go immediately into whining, they're doing this, they're doing that, versus saying, I don't like it when you do that, please stop. Step 8 is showing each other that there's no hard feelings with maybe a high five, hug, a handshake, or knuckles. And then step 9, oftentimes with conflict, there are two parties at fault, even though we don't want to admit it. So I always have the kiddos switch sides if they feel like they were also wronged. Now, sometimes they'll be like, nope, I was the one that did this. I don't need to switch sides. And that's also okay. So the hope is that by teaching students these assertive skills, they will no longer need the mat and will have the skills they need to solve their problems independently. Now, if you've tried this and they still weren't able to solve their conflicts, that's when it's time to get an adult involved. So hopefully, using this can help you teach those assertiveness skills to your kiddo and help them learn how to solve problems without your help, which might be kind of nice.
So, using that time machine, even if you don't use the mat, it's a great step towards knowing how to regulate yourself before you talk to the other person that you're having a disagreement with. And it's also teaching you what words to use whenever you do have a conflict. And then remember your zones of regulation. Maybe if you're in the red zone and you are told go say you're sorry, if you say, I'm in the red zone, I need to calm down first, maybe that will help you de-escalate the situation. So here's your craft or homework for the week. When you're watching TV, watch it with a grown-up and look for those areas of conflict. Talk it through, pause it if you have the ability, talk about facial expressions, talk about body language. What are the other people around them doing? And how do you think they feel when they are seeing this conflict? And what could they have done differently? So, I will see you guys next week. And as always, I'm sending love your way.